Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Ninjago video here on the channel. My name is TannerFishies. In today's video, we are going to be discussing Jay's storyline following Ninjago Crystalized, but before the events of the upcoming Ninjago 2023 United series, as told by the Ninjago canon novel known as The Quest for the Lost Powers. Of course, I've been doing a bunch of videos on this book recently, and if you want to check out my fully fledged review for the book itself, I will be leaving a link to that down below in the description. But for today's video, we are just going to be talking about Jay's storyline as it appears in this book, just because this book is pretty much essential for Ninjago fans to understand 2023's season, and I don't feel like a lot of people will be reading this book. So these videos are of course meant to tell the storylines that are present in the book, and I will be reflecting on the story as we go throughout the video and explaining where Jay might end up in Ninjago's 2023 season. So in terms of the storyline, this picks up weeks after Ninjago Crystalized left off, and the story begins with Jay and Nia in a hotel room. They are actually on a much needed romantic getaway on an island resort off the coast of Ninjago, and I think they deserve that, honestly. I mean, they've been through a lot, especially in Ninjago Crystalized, and it's been a while since they could actually spend some proper quality time together. It's good to see Jay and Nia connect like this. Nia is extremely happy, while Jay is not. Nia comforts Jay though, and Jay explains that he feels like a part of himself is missing. Not just in the sense that he doesn't have his powers anymore, but because the feelings that he's experiencing right now are similar to those to when he found out that he was adopted. He was left with so many questions and felt emptiness inside. Nia understands and suggests that maybe Jay should take some time to himself, possibly even explore the island. At first, Jay doesn't really understand why that would help, but eventually he gives in and decides to go off on his own for a little bit, taking a walk, trying to get his mind off of all of these feelings. However, literally 5 minutes later, as explained by the book, Jay is lost in the jungle, because it's Jay. What did we expect? Walking aimlessly, he thinks more about his feelings, both his powers and his past just lost, and he silently accepts the fact that he probably will never be getting either of those back again. He will never experience his lightning powers, he will never find his family, he is just walking aimlessly, just lost internally. And falling into a trap, because of course it's Jay, he comes across a familiar face, Unagami, who is also exploring the jungle. Unagami, of course no longer being a psychotic AI, is excited to see Jay again, and explains that he's out in the jungle as well, because he's working on a new game set in a jungle. So he's researching the island, and supposedly there's a mysterious lost city somewhere on the island. And because Jay has nothing better to do, he decides to travel the island with Unagami in hopes of finding this lost city. Continuing their quest, Jay and Unagami get to talking. Unagami explains that his relationship with Milton Dyer is going extremely well, and they are connecting as a father and son should. Jay finds himself a little bit jealous of Unagami and the relationship that Unagami has with his father. Along the way though, Jay stumbles across a stone shaped like a lightning bolt, and Jay excitedly picks it up, revealing a massive hole in the ground with stairs leading downwards. They realize that they may have just found the entrance to this supposed lost city, and decide to venture downwards in hope of finding something down there. Something, anything. Venturing down the stairs, Jay and Unagami continue their talk. Jay talks about the loss of his powers and how Unagami felt a similar empty feeling after he escaped Prime Empire, because he felt as though he would never reconnect with his father, Milton Dyer, but they eventually managed to build their relationship back up again. Jay takes note of this, and while he still finds himself to be a little bit jealous of Unagami, he feels like something like that could happen to him one day. They continue their quest under the island, exploring a lot of mysterious caverns that they find along the way, and they eventually find a stream and evidence of a tribe living down there once long ago. They enter another chamber with loads of books and early Ninjago text, essentially the village's library. Jay doesn't really understand what these early texts are stating, but Unagami does, and he finds a scroll detailing how the tribe acted as a family despite each member being from a different lineage. Even though they were not related to each other, they still considered themselves family. And these words end up inspiring Jay. He thinks about his family, his real family, the family that he made across his entire life, Ed and Edna, the junkyard, the other ninja. He realizes that there's a reason why he ended up in this spot, why he became a ninja, and what his birth mother was trying to set him on by leaving him with people that cared about him. And even though Jay does not understand what's happening regarding that part of his life, he accepts the family that he has, and he finally feels some level of happiness. With these new feelings, Jay's hands begin sparking, signifying that his powers are indeed back. Suddenly though, an earthquake happens. Turns out Unagami had triggered some type of booby trap set by the tribe in the library, and the entire place is falling apart. Jay grabs Unagami and they both run towards the exit, with Jay using his newfound powers to destroy falling rocks around him. And even though it's a pretty close call, eventually they do make it out of there. Unagami thanks Jay and now considers him to be family, considers him as a brother, and it's a pretty cute moment between Jay and Unagami. The two of them hug, and suddenly Nia appears. Excited, Jay tells her the entire story, how he got his powers back, what he found in terms of new feelings, feelings, and Nia's happy for Jay, but she explains that she planted a tracker on him, figured that he would get into trouble, which was a very smart choice because of course it's Jay, we expect him to get into trouble, and the trio decide to continue their way back to the resort, Unagami overjoyed that now he has a new brother, and by default a new sister, to call his family. So like I mentioned in my review for the Quest for the Lost Powers, Jay's storyline might have been my least favorite in the entire book, but it's nowhere near a bad story. I think Jay's story has an excellent lesson buried deep within its storyline, that of course being the fact that family does not have to mean your biological family. Family could refer to anything, your friends, your closest companions, your pets, anything. A family is what you make of it, and even though some of us out there may not understand where we came from biologically, it ultimately doesn't matter because our real family is the one that we have. There's a lot of really wise and excellent lessons to take away from this book, and going into Ninjago 2023, I bet Jay will be feeling more confident, more powerful, and more comfortable in his own skin than ever before. Now, obviously the book does of course mention Jay's birth mother, which is a mystery that Ninjago fans have been waiting to be answered for years. However, the book doesn't really explain anything regarding what happened to her, obviously enough, and while Jay feels that emptiness as well, Ninjago fans have been feeling it for years at this point, and even though Jay decides to move away from those feelings, realizing that it doesn't matter because of where he is in life, I don't think that's really applicable to the feelings of Ninjago fans out there who have been desperately wanting to find out what happened to Jay's mother for years now. So I think the storyline could have explained maybe a little bit more about that. I don't think it would have hurt to explain more about what happened to Jay's mother, and of course there have been scrapped storylines in the past that were going to explain that, but never did, so the fact that we still don't have an answer is pretty disappointing, but I'm not sure if the storyline would have been the best place to explain that. As mentioned, the lesson probably wouldn't really work if that mystery was answered, so I get why they didn't do it, but I just thought it was kind of disappointing, not gonna lie. But overall, I liked Jay's story. It's probably still my least favorite of the entire book after rereading it, but I still think it's a good story nonetheless, and I feel like Jay fans especially are going to appreciate this storyline and connect with Jay on a more emotional level. In Ninjago's 2023 series, we will most definitely see Jay back again as a full-on lightning ninja, fully confident and ready to go. And with that being said, guys, that'll pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts here. That was essentially Jay's storyline as told by the Quest for the Lost Powers book, and I appreciate you guys watching today's video. I am very curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this chapter down below in the comments section. Let all of your thoughts be known. Do you think this chapter should have incorporated Jay's mother in the plot a little bit more? And do you think there should have been a bigger discussion surrounding her in this chapter? I myself have a couple of ideas that I would like to save for another video, but I don't want to reveal them here, but leave all your thoughts down below in the comments, and Jay fans especially, what did you think about this chapter? Let me know. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. That'll pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts here. If you guys enjoyed today's video, feel free to like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I will talk to you guys again very soon. Peace.